Welcome back to episode 3 of the Silver Lining Herbs podcast, where we are doing a deep dive into feet and bone support because it's really the foundation of soundness for horses. My name is Chance Shutnick, and joining me is...
My name's Ashley, and I'm a nutritional advisor here at Silver Lining.
Love it. So the last couple episodes, we've been talking about, common issues that horses have for soundness issues in the winter time. And last time we talked a little bit more about like thrush and
stone bruises.
Stone bruises. Thank you very much.
Abscesses.
Yeah. So now in the common theme there was like feet and bone support for a lot of these issues. So we're going to dive deeper into it. When we talk about feet and bone support, the name says feet and bone support, but it does so much more than that.
So what feet and bone is doing is supporting the entire structural system. So all of the bones, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, all the hard tissues of the body is really what feet and bone is targeting.
Yeah. So, and that's so crucial. I always tell the story about like, if I go out to catch my horse and he's lame, I mean, that's like, hey, I had these exciting plans to ride my horse or go to an event or something like that. And then he's out there being lame. So this is a product that I'm obsessed with to ensure that they stay sound.
Yeah, this is something I talk about literally with every client because every horse can benefit from it, from your yearling to your, young filly that you're just starting, or the lame horse or the performance horse or the old horse. Like, everybody needs it.
Yes, 100%. And the tendons, the ligaments, the bony structures, all very important. The supplement that we're going to talk about is very important, but it's also the big picture of it all. So I want to start this conversation out a little bit about just like general health and all the things that attribute to structural health of the horse. And there's something that we talk a lot about is hay and grain. That's something that you ask every single customer about.
Yeah, feed program is crucial because we are what we eat. Right. And I know as humans, that's easy for us to relay that feeling because when we eat good, we feel good. And when we eat bad, we feel bad. And our horses can't tell us those things. Right. So do they love their sugary feed? Yeah. The same way I love a candy bar. But does it make me feel the best? And does it make me perform the best? Definitely not. So what we put into our horses is such a huge thing.
And right now, I'm just going through a little diet change myself. And
yeah.
So, when you just said that, it's so relatable because, not that I ate bad before, but I didn't eat as good as I'm eating right now. Like, I'm eating really wholesome right now. And like, when you said that, it's like, I always thought I felt pretty good. And then until I made a few tweaks and got rid of a few things and supplemented in a few more wholesome things. And I realized how much better I could feel. And so when you relate that to our horses, it's like, hey, I feel like my horse is doing really good. They're performing really well. They look good. They're coat shiny. They're in good weight and things like that. But then we make these little tweaks and we realize I have a whole new horse. Like they're really, really different. So what's the ideal feed program, generally speaking, for most horses?
One thing that's the most important is variety, because one thing in excess, even if it's a good thing, is never a good thing, right? So variety is important. So whether that's like a grass alfalfa mix, or we're feeding grass hay with alfalfa pellets, or alfalfa hay with grass pellets, or different cuttings of hay, and because every single time you cut hay, there's different nutrients in it. So the variety of a vitamin and mineral that's coming from our feed and getting that, the protein from the alfalfa, but also getting the benefits from the grass, like those are all equally important, and making sure that we don't have an over-concentrated diet of just one thing, because that can cause other health issues in our horses too.
It can absolutely do that. And then that's the key, variety. So I'll talk to clients and they'll say I feed alfalfa hay. It's the best alfalfa. And I'm like, great. Alfalfa is great. It's a great digestive herb, a great source of protein. There's so many benefits that come from alfalfa, but it's like, hey, look at it in your perspective. If I just had chicken breast every single day, lean, good source of protein, but I'm not going to have a well-rounded diet with that. Right. I need broccoli today. I need Brussels sprouts tomorrow. I need some beef in my diet too. I need all those different elements in there. And so if we're just throwing over the same type of feed every single day, then they're not going to get that benefit from them.
Yeah, and changing it up too. Maybe you feed teff pellets, and then maybe you feed alfalfa pellets, or there's not a right or a wrong way to do it. And I know people can overanalyze, I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing, but being conscious is the best thing that you can do for your horses, and like thinking about what's best for them. If you're doing that, you're already headed in the right direction.
Absolutely. The founder, Mickey Young, he always said it like this. Once we invented fences, we started limiting the amount of variety that our horses could get. I mean, you think about the elk or the deer or something like that, and they're going to be going down in the valley and eating the more lush vegetation in the evenings and things like that. But in the hot part of the day, they're going to go up in the trees and have drier vegetation to eat. They have a lot of different variety. But where our horses today are confined to a corral or a stall or something like that, they're literally depending on what we give them. So, as variety of grasses, orchard, timothy, coastal, whatever it might be. Some alfalfa is great, and then we love whole oats as well, and that really plays a big benefit in the structural system of the body too.
Yeah, it's great for the teeth, sharp points on the teeth. It's great for the digestive system, breaking down any debris through the digestive system. It oxygenates the blood. And if we have horses that are dealing with more sensitive issues like ulcers or something like that, rolled and steamed oats are really good options too.
100%. No, that's so good. I think oats are so underrated in today's age. And when we get to talk about oats again with clients, then they're like, hey, my grandpa used to do oats. And they're like, I forgot completely about this. I turned away from it.
Yeah, there's just so many things out there and so many things that, you can go down a rabbit hole of all these different options that you have. And there's something on the market for every ailment, and, this is going to fix your problem. And there's so many different things that we can do for our horses now. So simplifying it, adding some variety, and then supplementing with herbs when we need to.
100%. So now that we've kind of taken care of like the general diet, going on there, then let's hone in on the feet and bone support and the benefits of it. The thing that I love about feet and bone support is the adaptogenic properties of it. So meaning that it'll adapt to what the body needs. So whether it's an excess or a deficiency, and it really just simplifies and takes the guesswork out of it. Like honestly, if it's any bone, tendon, ligament issue of any kind, use feet and bone support because the body's going to utilize it the way it needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we think about like a fracture, right? There's a deficiency in that bone connecting. So feet and bone is going to help that body build more of that tissue to adhere. Or if there's an excess where we think of like a navicular horse that has like that tissue on the navicular bone, or
calcification forming
exactly.
Right there. Yep.
It's going to help break that down.
Yep.
And the cool thing about feet and bone is that it can be breaking down that calcification in one spot and building up tissue in another spot. So it really adapts to exactly what the body needs it for.
100%. And the way that it's really working is like increasing circulation to the extremities, so that way that can happen, because the body's saying, hey, I can heal it myself, but I just need the ability to do it, and that's what the components of the feet and bone support comes with it. One of my personal stories that I have with feet and bone support was both that of a deficiency and an excess. And this was a mare that my wife was running in the barrels. And she came up lame one day, made a run, and was three-legged after the run, and ended up going to get an MRI on the horse, and found out that it had lots of just like little things happening. So it had she had some calcification on her navicular bone, had some fraying of her deep digital flexor tendon, and had some a little bit of like coffin bone changes on the bottom of her coffin bone. And so we used feet and bone support with the Inflaid and the kidney support for her, and she made a complete recovery. It did take some time. I think the vet had originally told us like 6 to 9 months for a full recovery, and I think it was like 6 months later we were like fully riding her again. So it was another reminder and a testament to me of just giving the body what it needs, and it can absolutely heal it, in this case herself.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite client stories, I had a friend reach out to me on Instagram, and we started off with liver and immune, I think, and some other things developed, and she was having some soundness issues with her horses. And her husband is a farrier, so he was like, I don't know about all this. He's skeptical, which is fine. But we ended up getting her horses on the feet and bone And her husband was so impressed at their 6-week trim. He's like, I've never seen hoof growth like this. Like, their feet look so good. Their skin and coat and mane and tail is gorgeous. Like, they feel good. Their hooves are in beautiful shape. So it really is something that you can see.
It truly is. You know, the one, I've got so many feet and bone stories. I have two that I definitely want to share, but one was actually when I first started working here. It was when I was doing my internship, and there was a world champion.
How long ago was that?
That was a while ago. This is 17 years ago. So this was a situation. She was a world champion barrel racer, and her horse was lame. He had degenerative hock syndrome on one of his back legs, and on the inside of his hock, he had a calcification that like the size of a tennis ball when we got this horse delivered to us. And so we did the same thing. We did the feet and bone support, we did the kidney support, and I guess I should say why we did the kidney support. Yeah. So when you have a calcification like that, like I had our mare or this gelding had, so the feet and bone, because of the adaptogen, is going to help start to break down that calcification. Now, what do we need to do with that calcification? Because we don't get it out of the body somewhere, it's going to cause osteoarthritis and different.
Yeah, because it'll hang out in that area or in the bloodstream when it's trying to exit the body.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's where the kidney support complements the feet and bone support, because the kidney's job is to get all the impurities out of the body through the urinary system. So we start to break that calcification down with the feet and bone support, then we eliminate it out of the body through the urinary system where it should have been eliminated originally, but the calcification started. So with this horse, had that calcification the size of a tennis ball on the inside of his hock, and started giving him the feet and bone, the kidney support. We were exercising to encourage him to use that joint and things like that. And gosh, I don't know how long we had that horse, probably 6 months or so. But when we delivered that horse back, it was like the size of a ping pong size ball. So it like drastically reduced. And then she took that horse back at that time. But that was such a good story, and especially like me early on in my career with Silver Lining, just to see that. I mean, that was a horse that's won the world twice, run up the world twice, and a very valuable horse and a great career. And to see him see that kind of results from that, so he was just so much more comfortable. And they end up riding that horse again and doing some things with it. So that was really cool. The other really cool feet and bone story that I have is from the founder, Mickey. And that's also when I first started working here, but he bought a bay horse named Spike, and it had been to a bunch of pro rodeos. Corey Coons had rodeoed off that horse, made the NFR on this horse, and he was like, gosh, I don't know how old he was. He was probably like 13 or 14 or something like that at that time, but he had been diagnosed with navicular. And so instead of being a $50,000 horse, he was instead like a $15,000 horse. And so, he said, I'll buy the horse. I don't need to do a vet check or anything like that. Knew the horse's diagnosis. And he was just like a little tender, but he wasn't like necessarily like off or anything like that. But put him on the feet and bone support, kidney support, the infla aid. And, he ended up going to like the Reno, roping that year. That's a big amateur roping there, and rode that horse for a lot of years. And I remember him at Reno one year, and he was talking to Corey, and he said, I bought your old horse. And he's like, how'd you get him sound? And so we were talking about feet and bone support. And it's just like one of those things is, like both of those situations, well, even my mare's situation, it was kind of like, crap, this could be like career ending, or at least not be at the level that you were, and in all cases got them back.
Which is crazy, because I think oftentimes when our clients call us, they think this is like an end-all be-all diagnosis for their horses. And so to be able to give them that hope back and share the successes that we've seen over our 25 years in business, and know that there is hope for them and that their horses are going to recover from this, is really special. So special. So I mean, we talked a little bit about like navicular, but it's all types of things. Like, what are all the different issues? There's just a long list. Like, I mean, when you think of any reason that your horse can come up lame, right? Yeah. Like what? Navicular. And they come in. It seems to come in phases too, right? Like navicular. Oh my gosh, now I'm blanking.
Ring bone,
yeah.
big knees. It could be a stifle injury. It could be a quarter crack. It could be kissing spine. That's something more common these days that we're hearing a lot about. Bowed tendon, anything in that.
Even like I talked to a client the other day, like lots of tiny ligament tears that happened over long periods of time. And so it had been happening for years, and then it just got to the point where then his horse came up lame, and then, after talking to the vet, it's like, this is what's been happening for years, so it's not even necessarily like an injury or like they went down on this run or something like that. Just those little incremental things that can build up over time too.
Yeah. I'm glad you just said tendon, because it made me think of this thought with that. So, and the reason why kidney support is so important with feet and bone support. So if you have like a bowed tendon or a tear or something like that, there's inflammation there, and that inflammation is supposed to be there to protect that tendon. But when you have that, impurities come with it, and then you lose elasticity in that tendon and causing integrity issues there. So that is another reason why kidney support is so important to pair up with the feet and bone in that situation, because we're helping the integrity of the tendon, but then we're evacuating those impurities out, so we have better elasticity and we're not having long-term issues or something like that.
Yeah,
happen.
We're not compromising the ability of our horses to perform for us.
Exactly.
And something that we touched on too briefly was the inflade, and why that's so important with any kind of lameness issue or diagnosis. It's a natural anti-inflammatory, which anytime there's an injury or something wrong in the body, like you said, inflammation is always an issue. So it decreases the body's natural response to inflammation. It's also a natural pain reliever.
Right.
So when we think of horses that come up lame that are, on bute daily or something like Previcox, Equiox every day,
right.
It's a great alternative to that too, because they can have it as long as they need it or as much as they need to.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about all those stomach issues and kidney liver issues and things like that. Yeah,
for sure.
So talked a lot about treatment, but preventative is super important too. This is the one that I use the most on our own horses.
Yeah, and like I said before, like everybody can use this. Like when your horses are young and they're growing, to make sure their structural system is sound. When they're performing, to make sure that if something does happen, they're able to recover from it easier. So feet and bone is the best preventative for any kind of lameness issue that you could have. Yeah.
No, 100%. And yeah, I just keep thinking about, just trying to prevent those lameness issues from happening. And it's really just that quite simple. I don't think it's too, doesn't need to be complicated or anything. It's just something just to do on a daily basis to ensure the integrity and the blood flow so they can stay sound. And heaven forbid something does come up. Like I've also seen where they recover just so much faster.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they are animals, and if they're going to get themselves into trouble, it's going to happen regardless. So giving them all the tools that we can to recover quicker and back to 100%, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we weren't doing anything preventative, maybe they would recover, but only to 80% of their capabilities. So making sure that they can always come back to that 100% that they're used to.
Absolutely. No, very good. So what about feet and bone support does it makes it so great? So we're going to run down the list of ingredients that feet and bone support has and the reason why they're in there. We'll start off with bone set. So bone set increases blood flow to the bones, decreases pain, and stimulates the immune system. So if we can increase that blood flow, decrease the pain, and then stimulate immunity. So the immune system's involved in this. And that's another thing great about herbs too. I don't want to get on a tangent, but not only are you helping the structural system of the body, you're also getting these little benefits with the immune system and all these other...
All the vitamin and mineral content is helping the overall health of your animal so much more than just like their feet and their bones.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Butcher's broom improves circulation, reducing inflammation and swelling. Dandelion, high in calcium and vitamin K, essential for bone strength. And then this is also a great diuretic as well, so eliminating those impurities out of the body.
And then garlic, which is one of my favorite herbs to talk about. I know there's been controversy in garlic for your horses, so I do want to touch on that. But minimizes bone density loss and supports immune health. So there has been talk that garlic is not healthy for your horses, but something we believe here in Silver Lining is all things in moderation.
100%.
So when you think about the amount of garlic that our horses are getting every single day, it's a really small amount of garlic. And really why all these herbs are in here is not because one specific one shines, is because the way they all complement and work off of each other. It's the combination of all of them that really gets us to our end goal. So it's not like we need a surplus of garlic to increase the bone density, because all of those are going to complement each other to do that. We just need a little bit of all of them.
That's it. That's where the variety comes back in. Because I don't think a horse is going to go out there in the mountains just like hammer down on dandelion. Like he's getting some dandelion, he's getting a little milk thistle, he's getting a little sage, moving all around there. Kelp. I've never seen a horse go out and graze on kelp, but
we don't live in the environment for that.
No, we're not in Nova Scotia. But kelp is so great. It's rich in iodine, anti-inflammatory compounds that help with joint pain relief. But also, just when you're talking about vitamins and minerals, and herbs being the purest forms of vitamin and minerals, and the easiest to stimulate at cellular level, I don't know if there's another herb as rich in vitamins and minerals as there is in kelp.
Yeah, it's amazing and very underrated, I would say.
100%.
Yes. So along with that, Oregon grape strengthens bones and provides antimicrobial benefits. So we're only halfway through the list, and all the benefits that we're getting so far are so cool, because I just love how they all work together.
They do. Yeah. Absolutely. Safflower supports blood circulation. I see a trend here.
Yes. Circulation
and mineral absorption. So those calcifications is really going to be key with the skull cap benefits there.
Yeah, and the skull cap too, a natural relaxant that helps relieve muscle tension. So when you think of lameness or injury, obviously our horses being able to relax a little bit is a benefit as well.
Mm-hmm. White willow. So we all know that this is a pain reliever. It's anti-inflammatory. It's where aspirin was derived from. So white willow is fantastic for that.
Yarrow, accelerating healing and reduces pain. So again, circulation, pain relieving, along with the trend.
There you go. Yucca, our last herb in this combination, traditionally used for arthritis relief and reducing inflammation. So when we look at all these put together and you say, hey, yucca's great, hey, garlic's great, hey, boneset's great, but then you put them all together, and then we have to remember that they're catalysts amongst each other, like you were saying. So it just is phenomenal job that it does for the entire structural system of the body.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're just going to feed each other to make the best possible result, because they're all great by themselves, but when they can really combine forces to get the most powerful ability that they have.
100%. You mentioned farrier complimenting a client on their hoof health, and I've also heard chiropractors compliment it too. Like adjustments are staying longer, and their muscles are stronger, all because of feet and bone support. What else have you heard from different clients on like experts or professionals in the field?
I've talked to quite a few clients who, their vet gives them a certain diagnosis, and your horse is lame forever. Like, this is something they're never going to recover from. And I've had clients who will tell their vets that they're using our herbs, and I have clients who choose not to share that information with their vet, and then eventually they go back and their vet can't believe, like, oh my gosh, like your horse had an navicular, like you were never supposed to be able to ride him again, and now I wouldn't think twice that anything was wrong with them. So, and I mean, when I think about how much I love my horses, like I would be devastated if something like that happened to them. So having something that I know can get those results for our customers who love their animals more than anything, and be able to give them that purpose back.
That's it. You nailed it there. So use this in a treatment situation, use this in a preventative situation, and early onset, further chronic type of issues, it really doesn't matter. Talk to a nutritional advisor, somebody on our team, or look to our website with like the quiz to understand, like, okay, in this situation, it would be wise to use the feet and bone support, but the kidney support would complement it, or the infla aid would complement it, or maybe it's white line, so we need the INFX or the immune support with it. But that's why you guys are there, to really just help guide them to ensure they get the right products for the right issue, because in that case, we're going to see the positive results 100% of the time.
Absolutely. Something else that I would encourage our listeners to utilize too is the reviews on the website. We have so many great customer testimonials from their experiences, and they share their situations and things like that on the website. So I always encourage people to read those too, because it'll hit your feelers.
I love it. I love it. And there's so many good ones too. Like I it's never gotten old looking at those reviews, you know. We have such great clients. I love it. So really, at the end of the day, feet and bone supports for every single horse. I can't think of a single situation, a single horse, a single stage of life where it wouldn't benefit. Like I'm thinking about foals with crooked legs that could benefit from it. I think of mares that are in foal that could use it for their own structural health, but also the development of their foal that they're carrying.
That's something we should touch on too, because everything that we talked about today is safe for a pregnant mare, and everything that the mare gets, the baby's getting as well. And even after they foal, all the nutrients that mom gets, baby's getting through the milk. So if you think about how vulnerable our horses are when they hit the ground as foals, and then we're giving them all these vitamins and nutrients and all the support to their structural system through their mom's milk, they're going to be set up for success.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you move into like the juvenile or the adolescent years, they're just
accident prone.
They're growing so much. Yeah. You're starting them under saddle at two, or whenever you're starting them, or getting wear and tear. That's a benefit for them. I mean, even older horses that they definitely need at that stage of life, because they've had a lot of wear and tear in their life. So yeah, I mean, nobody can go wrong with feet and bone support.
Absolutely, it really is for everyone.
It really is. Well, if you guys have questions, never hesitate to call us. Our phone number is 866-543-6956. We have a great team of nutritional advisors to help you out. You can go to our website, send us an email. We're here to help you. And let us know future topics that you want to hear about. We're here for you as a service to you to help your horses, dogs, and yourself be healthier. And we've enjoyed this conversation and look forward to the next one.
I can't wait.